Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is going to be your daily cryptocurrency market update. For those of you that are new around here, we release an update every single day on the cryptocurrency market and help you guys try and navigate the treacherous but filled with opportunities waters that are the cryptocurrency market. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. If you guys can leave me a like and a comment, it really does help me in regards to the algorithm. And we've been killing it in regards to the content that we've been putting out. So what is the chart that I have before you? Well, it is Credit Suisse. Today you'll notice that the markets are not feeling too well. You've got the sort of futures markets for the US not doing brilliantly. You've got the dollar up. You've got the 2-year yields continuing to decline though, and we're going to be focusing on the 2-year yields quite a bit in this video. However, Credit Suisse is not doing too well at all. You can see Credit Suisse on the day, I believe, is down nearly 25%. And this is a reminder, these are some of the headlines. Dow futures fall 600 points as Credit Suisse slides adds to financial sector woes. So we know what's going on with the cryptocurrency market. If you follow me daily, you're up to date and you've been following this narrative and story. You're also potentially, although we don't give investment advice, have been doing very well off the back end of everything. But essentially, I want to remind people, and what's happening in Credit Suisse is a good reminder that it is still a shitstorm out there, okay? There is still a lot of uncertainty, a lot of sort of unknown that is going to face us in the economy moving forwards. And of course, it's going to impact the cryptocurrency market. Let's talk about the 2-year yields because this is something that you need to really, really be watching. This is the story, guys. Fed funds rate has driven markets and the 2-year yields has led that. Okay, look at how the markets have reacted to it. And now, bear market start. Potentially, bull market start. So this has gone up, and now there's maybe a reversion of that. We did actually look at the RSI. Daily doesn't show it brilliantly. The weekly certainly does. And how maybe you're in a bit of a similar period with a similar backdrop in regards to banks having issues. It was the repo market in 2018, but you can see this kind of let me just move my face out of the way. Similarity here that we pointed out, and now you've had the drop, and markets of course have appreciated this because this is how markets are pricing in and implying rates, right? The 2-year yields. So this is continuing to drop. However, there's internal things going on with the stock market and the sort of banking system that has the ES futures, the NASDAQ futures, and the E-minis all kind of somewhat selling off. And of course, it's to do with Credit Suisse. So today might be a bit of a down-ish sideways day. Remember, Bitcoin's had this amazing run. I think Bitcoin's 25% up at one point. We don't want it to keep going up like that. In fact, what it's doing is perfect. It's consolidating around our brilliantly illustrated and highlighted neckline of this inverse head and shoulders, which is often occur at a trend end. This is your right shoulder that we've been looking at. And now you're consolidating around it. In fact, this will very much look like a retest on the smaller time frames. You've broken it, you retest it. Actually, that looks good to me. You got people clearly buying this up. Double bottom structures, I am a big, we all like a double bottom, fan of. You see them all over the place. Anyway, on the just to give you guys a little bit of a what I like to look for. So this is a retest in my opinion, and ultimately I think crypto is very much set. I think when you look at the cryptocurrency market, you're largely going to play out in an Elliott wave theory fashion from here. Now this isn't going to take you to new all-time highs, but this is how the market sees continuation to the upside. And the head and shoulders target that we gave gives a target of, I think it's about 35k on non-log, and on the log over 40. And this is how I think you get there. Just to look at a couple of examples. I did a long video on this yesterday. 1, 2, you're essentially on that third wave, which Elliott wave theory typically dictates is the largest wave, which means it'll be larger than the first. The first wave was, let's take it from here, 54%. This is taking you to that 30k range. And we've said for a long time, it's not going to be long until you hit this 30k range. you know, having took a position back in the markets. Of course, I would say that being back spot long. So this is what we're looking at. Pay attention to your 2-year yields. You know, this is essentially the kind of structure that I think you're not just forming for Bitcoin, but altcoins across the board, for those of you Elliottians out there. And I'm sure there's many of them already drawing this. Third wave's bigger. Watch your third wave take you. Let's just do the same percent. Might take you somewhere like here. If it was the same, remember it's likely to be bigger, so I think you're going to come into this zone. I think you could even attack up here at some point before you get some sort of a broader ABC correction. And then we'll see what the structure looks like in regards to taking us to the upside. We are very focused in regards to being observant, following the markets and acting on the markets as we see fit. You know, maybe do something like that in terms of an ABC correction, or even, you know, you could see something like this take place. Anyway, so this is just a little bit of Elliott wave. You've got this across the board. Polkadot's one that we looked at yesterday. Big bull on Polkadot. I think you've got a pretty epic move incoming. I think you've got an epic move incoming from the entire space. However, today you've got really what's going to grip the headlines is, of course, the Credit Suisse situation. I mean, you think crypto's had a bad year. Credit Suisse been having a bad decade, guys. So this was the 2008 financial crisis. We're at top, like everything. And then you see that continuation to the downside. FTSE's down, although FTSE's been just nothing short of strong. Dollars up, futures down. Talking about the 2-year yields again, just to bore everyone and put everyone properly to sleep. Because of what we've seen, okay, and actually look at the euro dollars. Big drop, instantly erased. First time this has happened. You often get a lot of volatility at a trend end, just as a kind of side note. Talking about the 2-year yields, you know, this is literally the driving story. And we've shown you this just. Fed funds, this. Now, what you want is typically a pivot's bad. So this is what I'm looking at moving forwards, right? Plateauing of rates. Okay. Remember, this leads it. So you get this plateauing of rates. The Fed funds goes like this, which actually JP Morgan are now calling for. Markets will probably do this. And then when the actual pivot occurs, typically the pivot will occur, providing, you know, and we still don't know yet. And remember, we're in this kind of post-apocalyptic, to say the least, environment, or that's certainly how they tried to portray it as apocalyptic, whereas actually what we're finding now, and go and look at the leaked messages that you're seeing from the UK government. Horrific. Anyway, when they release rates, remember your rates are confusingly in Bitcoin orange. Typically markets fall off the back end of that. Historically, right? So this is obviously 2019, which was a bit of a pariah. You've got here 2008, rates down, or prior to that, we can go to the dot-com boom and bust. So if we can get that plateau of rates, we've got this real nice window, I think, that also lines up with a yield curve inversion. This might take a while to come on because we've got a few draws on it. So we're waiting for this to go inverted before we get that crash, and ultimately that's probably what's going to bring rates down. This ties in with this kind of opportunity window that we've got, and for this kind of Elliott wave structure to play out. This is what I'm looking at moving forward. I'm going to be taking advantage of it. If you guys want to find out what I'm doing in terms of specific buys, link in the description to my Patreon. Well worth joining. If you don't like it, you can always cancel it. You know, ask the guys in there, has it been worth it for them? Okay, and you'll see. But I'm very much set on upside. I'm very much set on that third wave now being in and about to take place. Having retested this neckline and looking for that upside. I mean, look at, as we're talking, guys, markets were in red. Now in the green. And this video will be coming out, I think, about half an hour after I've shot it. So you'll be getting this fresh. Watch things like Grayscale. I did see, you could just be filling the gap in here. I did see, actually, I watched a number of sort of fund flows. And actually, we saw a record outflow in a couple of fund flows last week. So I wonder what was going on there. Was there a bit of a liquidity grab from some of the banks that are involved in Silicon Valley and so on and so forth? But remember, as bullish as I am, remember there's a shitstorm out there, guys, in terms of the macroeconomic. And we need to be observant of that. We need to pay attention. And hopefully, you know, we can make some money. You know, we did very well protecting you guys, hopefully, and certainly the Patreon members last year. And now we're looking to capitalize. There's years for defense and there's years for offense. I think this is going to be a year of offense. That's all I've got for you in this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it, as a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.